The Democratic Republic of Congo, or DRC, gained independence from Belgium on June 30th, 1960. Hopes for a bright future were high. The DRC, however, faced enormous challenges from the start. The country was vast and diverse, with over 200 ethnic groups. Belgium had done little to prepare the DRC for self-rule. There was a lack of trained Congolese officials. Within days of independence, the army mutinied. The southern province of Katanga seceded, backed by Belgian mining interests. The United Nations intervened, sending in a peacekeeping force. The Congo crisis, as it became known, lasted for 4 years. It set the stage for decades of instability. In 1965, General Mobutu Sese Seko seized power in a coup. He renamed the country Zaire. Mobutu ruled with an iron fist for 32 years. He amassed a personal fortune while the country's economy crumbled. Mobutu's regime was brutal and corrupt. It suppressed all opposition. In the 1990s, Mobutu's grip on power began to weaken. The end of the Cold War meant the loss of Western support. The Rwandan genocide of 1994 sent shockwaves through the region. Millions of Rwandan refugees, including Hutu extremists, poured into eastern Zaire. In 1997, a rebellion backed by Rwanda and Uganda drove Mobutu from power. The country's name reverted to the Democratic Republic of Congo. The new president, Laurent Désiré Kabila, proved unable to unite the country. A second war broke out in 1998. It drew in neighboring countries, each vying for control of the DRC's vast mineral wealth. The Second Congo War, also known as the African World War, was a humanitarian catastrophe. Millions of people were killed, most from disease and starvation. Rape was used as a weapon of war. The conflict fueled a thriving trade in conflict minerals, such as coltan, used in mobile phones. In 2003, a peace agreement formally ended the Second Congo War. The United Nations mission in the DRC, or MONUSCO, was established, the largest and most expensive peacekeeping operation in UN history. MONUSCO's mandate was to protect civilians, disarm militias, and support the DRC government. Despite some successes, MONUSCO has faced criticism for its failure to prevent ongoing violence, particularly in the east. Armed groups continue to operate. They prey on civilians and exploit the region's resources. Corruption within the DRC government and security forces remains a major obstacle to peace. The international community has imposed sanctions on individuals and entities responsible for human rights abuses and fueling the conflict. The United States, for example, has targeted rebel leaders and companies involved in the illicit mineral trade. The effectiveness of these sanctions is debated. Some argue they have had a limited impact on the ground. Félix Tshisekedi became president of the DRC in 2019. It marked the country's first peaceful transition of power since independence. Tshisekedi has pledged to tackle corruption and bring peace to the east. However, he faces immense challenges. Armed groups remain active. The humanitarian crisis continues. The DRC's future depends on ending the cycle of violence and impunity. This requires a multi-pronged approach. The DRC government must address corruption and improve governance. Armed groups must be disarmed and reintegrated into society. The international community must continue to provide support, both financial and political. Building a lasting peace in the DRC is a daunting task. It will require sustained effort from all stakeholders. Ultimately, the Congolese people themselves must be the architects of their own future. Only then can the DRC achieve its full potential as a peaceful and prosperous nation.